Hello and welcome. This is Vince Ritchie, MBA admissions advisor, consultant, and coach. Short video here today correcting a mistake in a previous video relating to the Wharton interview, specifically the Wharton one-on-one interview. I gave what I now realize was bad advice. In that previous video, I said that I don't think Wharton would ask you why you want an MBA in the one-on-one interview, in the one-on-one discussion. I'm realizing that's bad advice because they may ask you anything they want. It's actually not an unusual question to ask in a blind interview where the interviewer only has a resume. It's in fact a very common sense and natural question about why you, the applicant, want an MBA. So it's a fair question. I can't say they will ask it, but I was wrong when I said that I didn't think they will ask it. I don't know what they're going to ask. They can ask anything they want. So it's bad for me to say, it's confusing, I think, and bad advice for me to tell you, oh, don't worry about that. They're not going to ask that. Who am I to know that? I don't know that, in fact. So be ready for anything, over-prepare, prepare for the worst-case scenario. In this case, I don't think it's a scary scenario because you have answered why you want an MBA in the essay. So now it's just a matter of turning that essay answer into a short, clear interview answer that may lead to a follow-up discussion about something you said. So I'm going to give you my answers, again, based on my experience because I'm not competing with you. I'm not applying for a Wharton MBA myself. And so this is what I would say if I were interviewed by Wharton in a one-on-one interview. First of all, a question that you should be prepared for is tell me about yourself, which I abbreviate as TMAY, tell me about yourself. This is different from walk me through the resume. Walk me through the resume is a sequential, chronological, maybe starting with college or just after college. This is the first job that I took and this is why I took it. I developed certain skills, then I changed my function or my company or both, and I gained a different set of skills. And, so I've made conscious choices up my career in order to gain certain skills, sort of a stepping stone, if you will. And then as a next follow-up question, why do you want an MBA? And then what do you want to do in the future? This tell me about yourself is quite different. This is more of a more like headlines, or another way to think of it is almost like snapshots, like a very quick photo album. So this is my template or my suggested structure for how to answer tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself implies professionally and personally. So this is my little issue tree here that I made really simply. Tell me about yourself. Professionally, I run a admissions consulting business. I've worked for 10 years in this field. I've helped more than 500 applicants get into the very top graduate and MBA programs around the world. And I really love what I do because I really enjoy helping people. In addition to one-on-one training through my company, which is Vince Prep, I also give lectures and do seminars at various places around Japan, including right here near my office. I give some lectures a couple times a year at the University of Tokyo. My students there are graduate engineers, but it's still the same core skill set. I'm teaching them academic writing and presentation skills as well. Outside of work, I have a family. I love to enjoy time whenever I can, spend time and play around with my 7-year-old son. We love to go to museums. When it's a rainy day and when it's a sunny day, we do fun stuff in the neighborhood, just kicking the soccer ball around or hanging out. It's a lot of fun. It's a great age, and I'm really enjoying being a dad, being a father. Also, I love to play music. I play guitar and bass. Still play around whenever I can. I've been in a bunch of bands over the course of my life. That was a kind of impromptu version of my little decision tree here. I wasn't timing myself. That was probably too long. I could have tightened it up here and there, but I hope you get the idea here that this logic is professionally I, quick summary with some highlights, and then professionally I, quick summary. 10, I use some numbers, 10 years, admissions consulting, some numbers, some highlights or some great results, and then some achievement in some way that makes it catchy. And then personally, I talked about my son and music and other stuff. This is not the end of the conversation. This is really actually the start of the conversation. So this is not a long speech. This is rather a quick presentation of hopefully a bunch of interesting things that will catch the attention of the person you're talking to, who will then hopefully ask follow-up questions about any one of the items that you've just laid out in very brief sketch. This is a text version of what I just said. I'll say it again to see, actually I will time it this time. Professionally, I run a highly successful admissions consultancy. Since 2002, I've helped more than 500 professionals around the world gain admission to top MBA and graduate school programs. I also teach academic writing and presentation skills to graduate engineering students at the University of Tokyo. I think the secret to my success comes from my past experience in the performing arts. My counseling style is rooted in storytelling methods that I learned as an improviser at Stanford University and also as a professional Shakespearean actor. Outside of work, I enjoy playing soccer and bass guitar with my 7-year-old son. So that was a minute. I was actually under a minute. And let me just fix this. I do, I use dictation software. I use voice recognition to save time and to save my hands from overwork and keyboard occupational hazard. And I did this in voice recognition. It didn't quite catch my words. Around the world gain admission to. Thanks for putting up with this. I'm just making this video as quickly as I can. 500 professionals around the world gain admission to, yeah. Cool. Anyway, that's just one way you can't answer it that way. That's how I would answer it. I'm giving away these answers because I'm pretty sure you're not going to copy them, because I don't think anyone else has my particular combination of stuff here. But this is the real takeaway, hopefully, is this sort of decision tree or issue tree, logic tree kind of a structure for tell me about yourself. So do this, practice this, test this out on friends and people who know you well. Is this attractive? Is this interesting? Are these the things I should be mentioning? Is this catchy? And then give it a shot. Have fun with it. Okay, now let's move on here to the final thing in this video, which is my sample answer again to why you need an MBA. I don't really have a decision tree or shortcut for this one, or a way to organize your answer. I'm just going to give you my answer. So if they say why you want an MBA, you kind of do need to briefly mention your goal first. And so this is how I would answer this question. Why do you need an MBA? I want to bring admission counseling to the masses. I believe that everyone should be able to improve their critical thinking and storytelling skills, regardless of their income. I plan to build a role-playing game where MBA and graduate school candidates can match their skills to actual school criteria and admissions standards set by the top schools. I already, from my experience, I understand the market, and I know how to I understand the content, or I understand the logic of admissions advising. I know that well. But I don't know much about managing finances or arranging licensing, and also how to scale a global operation. I envision this thing to be big. I have some questions about the funding model. I have a lot of clarity on some aspects, and I have a lot of questions in other aspects. And I definitely feel that a Wharton MBA is the best way to develop my business model while building journal management and finance skills that I'll need to run this operation and start this social venture that I have in mind. Wharton's the best place for me because I can study with Professor Ian McMillan in the entrepreneurial program, and I can access unique resources like the Wharton Social Venture Fund. All right, that's my answer. I wasn't timing that one. I could tighten it up a lot. It's probably too long. I might not mention the professor's name or the Wharton Social Venture Fund unless they asked me. But anyway, my point here is that I think you definitely need to say briefly about your goal. Why do you want an MBA? Well, I want to do something. Then you need to say what you already know how to do. In my case, I already know the content or I know the market, but I don't know about general management and finance, particularly licensing and funding and scaling and operations and stuff that I've just never done. Every business I've ever done has been very small scale, very one-on-one. And for this operation to work, it needs to be big because it's going to be a different funding model. It's not going to be a per hour, high hourly rate type of consulting model. I really want to open this method and process up. Anyway, I'm talking too much about a fictitious situation. I'm not competing with you again. I'm not applying for MBA. If I ever got an MBA, this would be the reason I would get an MBA. So it's an honest answer in that sense, but it's not a real answer in that I'm not applying to Wharton. Okay, that's it for now. I just wanted to put that out there again to summarize. The reason I'm making this video is you should be prepared to, in fact, talk about why you need an MBA. They might ask it, they might not. But my previous video, I think, overstated when I said, "Oh, they're not going to ask that." How do I know, right? You should be prepared for anything, over-prepared for anything, for any scenario. And also, I think this, tell me about yourself. I wanted to share this. I've blogged about this or written about this before, but I've never actually included this kind of tree thingy, and I certainly haven't talked about it in a video yet. So that's it. Good luck with your Wharton interview. Good luck with all of your interviews. I think either of these answers that I outlined today could be useful for almost any school you're applying to. So best of luck, and thanks again for watching. All right, good luck to you. Take care. Bye-bye.